The maintenance train has arrived at one of today's work sites. 2502 eases the hopper into position so that fresh ballast can be spread where it's needed. .2502's paint scheme is of course inspired by the beautiful 1950s-era Southern Pacific Black Widow scheme.
So what happened here is that the outer rail was sagging a little bit, and when you would go over it with the train, you would feel it give a little bit, and you would feel the weight on the outside rail dip down. And so what we have to do to fix that is take big steel bars, jam down the ballast in and around the ties underneath those ties so that it would give it proper support and keep that rail from sagging down. So by doing that, the outside rail is much more supported, it's not going to give as much, and when you go over it with the train, you're not going to feel that sag or anything like that.
Back at Oak Meadow Station, 3502 has uncoupled from the cars and is being turned around on the turntable. The 3502 carries Chicago and Northwestern colors. .3502 will run around the train and recouple on the other end so it can leave the station facing forward. This maneuver will be repeated after every run. The couplers are very similar to those used on full-size railroads.
A track worker's job is never done. When we fix one section of rail, there will be another section somewhere else that we'll need to fix. And once we fix that, something else will go wrong, or a root from a tree will start pushing up a rail, and it can be a pain, but it's just one more aspect of keeping this railroad going. We don't have a lot of the high-tech machinery and equipment that a lot of the bigger railroads have. It's mostly just a few guys with some shovels, levels, pry bars, a lot of sweat, tears, hard work, and whatever else goes into it. Over the years, weather, gophers, and squirrels will undermine the bedding of the rails, and you'll notice certain portions of the line give and sag a little bit, especially when you're in the locomotive. So what we're going to do is we're going to find those portions and raise them up, tamp them underneath a little bit, make sure that the super elevation is proper, and hopefully that'll provide as smooth of a ride as possible for the passengers, but also for ourselves as well.
To your left, about one tie. Dig in there and lift it up slightly. Good, okay. Boys.
If you have one soft spot, it's not that big of a deal. Like, oops, there's a little bump in the line. But when you get a whole area that's really bumpy, it's a really rough ride. And this section has been really rough ever since this past winter when we got a lot of rain. It really softened the ground. The best track work is the track work that you don't notice. It's a real smooth ride. That's the ride I like to know that I've done a good job and everything's finished that we need to work on.
With its work done for the day, 2502 heads back toward Oak Meadow Station. The main line switch is a spring switch, meaning that trains coming from the trailing end can run through from either track without stopping to throw the switch. Throwing the switch will ensure that 3502 takes the other track as it begins its run. The switch will remain in that position until later in the day, when it will be thrown again to send the trains around the line in the other direction to even out wear on the track. 3502 departs Oak Meadow Station with the first passenger train of the day. Meets are very rare on the Billy Jones Wildcat Railroad, but we were lucky enough to catch this one between 3502 and 2502 at the main line switch.